everyone, it's Lottie from Cancer is a Lifestyle. So I missed my Veda day 7 yesterday. It just kind of, the morning just kind of got away from me. I had to go back to work after a 4-day weekend, and it just got, it got real hectic in the morning. And next thing I know, it's time to go, and I didn't have much time. And I almost missed it today too. But when all you have is morning to do, get all your stuff done, it's kind of hard, you got to kind of prioritize. So anyway, today we're going to combine them, and it'll be day 7 and 8 together, okay? So today I wanted to show you a little bit more about the plarning that I do and how I do it. Now, I'm not going to give you a tutorial because there's so many great ones out there that you can just, you can, they will tell you step by step, and they'll tell you measuring. They tell you, everything exactly what you need to do. The thing is that I always kind of do my own thing. No matter what, whenever I start something, I kind of make it my own. So when I first learned how to, Plarn was a group of ladies. They came with us to actually Phil's Friends, an organization that I just recently did a video about, where we donated some hats to them. And I met a lady there who, they have quite a large group of women, and they make homeless mats. And they kind of invited us in to show us how to make them. Now, I will tell you, they are extremely serious homeless mat makers. Right down to where they bring a ruler and they actually measure every strip. And they are very, very particular of what the materials, what kind of materials they use. So I hope none of them are watching this right now, because I kind of do my own thing. They would really not like. So I'm going to show you what I do. Now, here's your basic grocery bag, plastic grocery bag, right? So when I started plarning, I quickly realized that you need a lot of these grocery bags to make your mat. I mean, like, I looked up some data according to this group. You need like 500 to make the appropriate size homeless mat. Now, I'm not making fun of them or anything. I am just a person that I kind of wing everything, and I do my own thing anyway. So I do not really measure anything, and I don't measure the mats. I don't make them the same size every time. Mine are all different sizes and lengths and widths, but I quickly realized, even when I'm cutting the strips, I'm not really measuring them. I'm just cutting them. But I realized that you need a lot of these plastic bags, and I thought that, well, at this rate, it's going to take me forever to make this homeless mat. I have to think of something else that I can utilize. So, especially now when plastic bags, not every store uses them anymore. A lot of people bring their own shopping bags, that are cloth or yarn. So I'm going to tell you what I use. Now, first of all, I want you guys to know, first of all, that everything I use is clean. I don't use anything that is like stained or food particles in there, or it's wet, or so I don't want anyone to be like grimacing, like, oh, you did what? You used what? So just remember that it's always, if it's dirty or if it's stained, I won't use them. Or if it's something that I can rinse out and maybe dry, then that's what I do. So your basic grocery bag, right? Well, you don't have too many of these. So I have kind of remembered something that one of my ladies, I used to have this Latino elderly woman who used to just recycle everything. She never threw out all her stuff. She used to just make something else out of it. And I remember that at one time she made like a rug, and she made like a basket out of old clothes that didn't fit anymore, or that were torn, or they were stained, and she just cut them into strips, and she tied them together, and she turned it into yarn, and she would weave like a rug out of it, or a basket. So I was thinking, there's got to be other kinds of plastics that I can use for my mat. So I'm going to show you what I use. Now, for one thing, we all have these Ziploc bags, right? Now, I do not throw out every bag that I have multiple uses out of one bag. I make sure I rinse them and I reuse them, and I keep reusing them until they get, you get worn out, and it's time for a new bag. But I don't just throw. Of course, if I give someone something, I give them a new bag. Okay, let's not get silly here. But once the bag is getting, go away, go away.
No.
It's just I have a judge over here watching me.
Why do you feel you need to be judged?
Shh, go away. Do they do that to you, your family members, to stand there and they watch you make a video? Well, anyway, so I will use, now I don't go buy new ones and cut them into strips. That would be silly. But I do, once I'm like, these are my little sweet potato chips for work. Once I'm done reusing this bag, and I've used it several times, and I know I'm not, I'm going to just throw it out. I'll rinse them, I'll wash them, I'll rinse them through, let it dry, and then I will cut it into strips. Now, I have learned, depending on whatever size and thickness of your plastic bag determines the width of the strip that you will cut. Like a grocery bag isn't very strong, so you're not going to cut it into real small strips. You're going to cut it into much bigger strips. So a Ziploc bag, for instance, when you're cutting them, you're not going to cut them in this size because they are much stronger, and you can cut it into smaller strips, and it still is good to use as a homeless man. So I do use these. I'm going to tell you something else that I use, and I get this from work. This is a large plastic liner, and I'm folding it in half, but these come actually at my work. Now, I work for a cosmetic company, and we make a lot of shampoos and conditioners and lotions, and we've made eyeshadows and lip wear, and we for different companies out there. And a lot of the components that come, and by component I mean, and I'm going to show you so you guys know. Excuse me, I'm leaning in. So here's your average bottle, right, of lotion. These come in like, it'll be just plastic bottles that we are filling, or it'll be a box of just caps that we need. But first they will line the boxes, the containers, with the plastic bags. And then we recycle these. So whenever I'm, short on plastic bags, grocery bags, to make the mats, I will go get a pass, because we do recycle these, and my managers let me take as many as I want. And look how long this is, guys. Look how long this is. And look how wide it is. You can, and again, the thickness of this is the same as the grocery bag. So I can cut strands. So I have used this also. I'm going to give you another trick of what I use. Now, you guys recognize what this is? These are in the grocery stores for when you get your vegetables, right? You want to get your bell peppers, or you get your tomatoes. I just got this one, and I think I bought some tomatoes. And look, it's clean. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not even dirty. I don't even have to rinse it. I just took the tomatoes out, and I use it. Now, this is pretty flimsy. So when I cut my strip, look at how long it is. I can maybe cut 3 strips out of this, because I make sure that I will cut quite a big piece of it, because it is flimsy. So I need it to be wider so it's stronger. Okay, so these work really well too, you guys. Another thing that I use that's worked, and I've tried many things. Don't think that everything I've tried worked, because there were some things that did not work. But do you guys know what this is? Can you tell? These are Gala apples. And I just bought them. I didn't even have to rinse it. I just took the apples out. Look, there's nothing wrong with this plastic bag at all. You can use it. And again, it is even thicker. And I mean, it's almost a little bit thicker than the grocery bag. So these will work good. And I actually do these thinner. Now, you just got to determine the weight of your plastic bag to determine what size you're going to cut. Now I'm going to give you another thing that I do, but you have to, that's why I'm sitting back a little because I have to lift it up. And maybe this will be kind of funny considering of what's going out there, what's going on out there with the virus. So hold on. Oh my goodness. Do you guys recognize this? These are paper towels that I actually picked up. And you see they come in this nice, sturdy plastic bag. Really nice. All one piece. I would just cut it straight across here. It makes quite a few of these strips you will get out of it. So here you go. That works fantastic also. So now you're probably thinking, but they're all different. They're going to look different on your mat. No, they're in here. This is some of my mat. If anything, I think it adds like a little bit of color because I combine them all. And if you guys want to see some of my mats, they are go down below to show more and click on the ministry page on Facebook, and I show pictures of my mats. And I make it, all these different designs come out of this, and I think they look kind of cool, not just plain white. So yeah, it doesn't really show, does it? But yet it's in there. And I'm going to tell you one more thing that I use, but I don't have any here. And it's just once in a while when I get it. And it just kind of requires a little bit more work with that. And you have to cut it into small strips. But all those party plastic tablecloths that everybody throws out after one use, I just take them, I shake them out, I wash them, I rinse them, I let it dry. And you cut it into small strips, and it's not easy to cut it into small strips because it's long, but I would suggest that you always use really nice sharp scissors. And so yeah, these are just some things, you guys, that I use for my homeless mats, and there's nothing wrong with those. And I've tried many things. I've tried to make it work because I know that we can recycle a lot of stuff, you guys. We throw out, this is all my shopping today that I did, and I thought, look at all the plastic that I would be throwing out when I could use it. I could use it. So now that I've passed on my great information for you guys, I hope that I should also add, I wanted to add is, because I lost my train of thought for a minute, I wanted to add is that I tried different kind of plastics also. I tried the ones from like the pasta noodles and all, but that it did not quite work because it was very crinky, and it broke easy. Even though it felt stronger, but it broke when you, it didn't stay strong. But anyway, you guys go ahead and try different kinds of plastics. See what works for you. Because there's a lot of good things out there that we throw out every day that we can reuse and make these homeless mats. Now, don't forget these homeless mats. Like I used to know someone that used to minister to the homeless quite a lot. And he used to give me a few tips when it comes to the homeless. Like when you make items for the homeless, always make them in darker colors. Like the hats and the scarves and the blankets, always make them in darker colors because they cannot wash like you and I can wash. They don't have that available to them. So when things get dirty, it doesn't look as dirty when it's a darker color. Whereas if they had a yellow hat and it gets dirty, you can see it. So be more considerate of that. I know it's bright and pretty and all, but go for the darker tones when you make them anything. And also, they dispose of things. When it no longer, like when that hat gets very tattered or it gets very dirty, they just toss it. They don't keep it. There's no way for them to wash it. And it's the same thing with the mats. So when you make the mats, and, this is the plastic, it should last them a lot longer than, and it does. It does last them for a few seasons. But then it gets disposed of, and then they need another one, okay? So anyway, I thought I'll just give you some of these little tips because I noticed my Yarny sisters are doing that. And I think, they're finding out that these grocery bags are just not enough. It's not going to be enough for you to do what you want to do. And you'll end up making just one mat in months. And that's not what we want to do. We want to be productive, right? You want to make more than one mat. So anyway, I hope these tips help you. And oh, I bet you thought that I forget about the book of the day, huh? But I have a really beautiful, big, thick, I think there's like 700 pages in this one. And this is from 1988. And I know, even before looking at the date of the year of when it came out, because in every book, a long time ago, I don't do that anymore, but when my kids were small, I used to put a label, an address label inside my books, so that this was my book. And the address on there is actually when my children were small. And I think this book is, I remember, I think this is a book that my mom gave me when, what does it say, the Principles of Knitting. When she used to work at Bantam Doubleday Dell Publishers. And where she worked, they made the covers for the books. And she used to be in doing inventory. She used to do data entry all the time for them. But I remember this is where it, and it's all about knitting. You guys, it is all black and white. It is. I have, it's black and white. It tells you everything, A to Z, about knitting, right down to the type of yarns, the all about the different textures, the yarns, how to do anything with knitting, how to make bows on, you know, on your sweaters, how to do multiple coloring. Everything you could imagine is in this book. It's like a Bible of knitting. Now, I've always been fascinated by knitting, and I've always said that I was going to learn how to knit, and the time just goes by, and I never did anything about it. This is book, I should tell you who it's for by. It's by June Hemmings Hyatt. So you guys, this is going to be one. This is going to be my Bible. I am determined to cast on socks this year, and in fact, one of the things I'm going to do is, there was Mo from Unseen Yards, Unseen Strands. Oh my gosh, Mo, forgive me. Unseen Strands, where she suggested that I should crochet a pair of socks first to get that kind of feel for them and all. And I've actually, I think I found one, I think Krista from Bag O' Day actually made some, I think she did, made some crochet socks. If I remember early on, I'll have to check, but I could have sworn I seen it in her inventory. So I am going to crochet a pair of socks, and then I am definitely, by the end of this year, I have to the end of this year to cast on a pair of socks and start learning how to knit. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for forgiving me for yesterday, and hopefully I can get another video up tomorrow. I do have something I want to show you. It's not that I don't have anything to show you, it's that I just cannot get my act together and make these videos. I just don't have the time. Today I ended up doing some light shopping, just light grocery. I go very light now, and I only go to the store for what I need, like milk, you know, lettuce. We're always needing lettuce. Because, you know, we're so conscious. We don't want to add to the problem what's going on out there, so we are very conscious. And I also wanted to pick up some things from my mom and kind of, you know, drop it off. It is Easter this weekend, and I wanted to, you know, even though I would tell you all of us are living out of our pantries and cupboards, you'd be surprised. Even my mom was saying how much food we really have. If you really look inside your cabinets, you can find, we all got food in there. We just are very spoiled and want certain type of food, but we have food, and you can eat what you got. And but we are very spoiled people, and we, you know, we want what we crave. So we feel, oh, then we're going to go out and get what we feel we want. So I wanted to get something, even though she doesn't really need anything, but I wanted to get something a little bit special. So she, you know, for Easter, she's going to be alone. We're all going to be alone for Easter, that we would have a little bit of a treat for that day. Well, anyway, you guys, I will see you tomorrow, and have a great day. Bye-bye.